Iron Man in 5 minutes. Everything you need to know about the story so far. Spoiler alert. Tony Stark. What a guy. Genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist. Heir to megadefense contractor Stark Industries, Tony is gravely injured during an ambush in Afghanistan. Captured by the terrorist group The Ten Rings, he meets fellow prisoner Dr. Yinsen. Luckily for the injured Stark, Yinsen implants an electromagnet in his chest that keeps the shrapnel in his body from killing him. The terrorists want the super scientists to build a missile, but instead, they secretly build a weaponized suit of armor to escape with. Powering the suit and Tony's heart magnet is a mini power generator called an arc reactor. This little wonder outputs a tremendous amount of power, enough to blow up the terrorists real good. Unfortunately, it's not enough to save Yinsen, who sacrifices himself so Stark can escape. The makeshift armor is a one-pump chump, but Stark's pal Lieutenant Colonel James Rhodey Rhodes finds him and brings him home. Tony announces that he's done making weapons and wants to pursue nobler causes, like turning the arc reactor idea into a clean energy source for mankind. His dad's old business partner, Obadiah Stane, isn't down with this at all, but Stark's too busy refining his armor to notice. When Tony's personal assistant, Pepper Potts, hacks into Stane's computer, she discovers that he's actually a bad guy and has been providing the Ten Rings with Stark Industries weapons. He was also behind Tony's kidnapping because he wants the company for himself. Stane's armor envy leads them to recover and rebuild Stark's first suit, only bigger and less practical. The two fight it out, and Pepper helps Tony defeat Stane by electrocuting him with a giant arc reactor. The press dubs this mysterious new figure Iron Man, but Tony does what any good superhero would do and keeps his true identity secret.
I am Iron Man.
Or not. Later, Stark is visited by Nick Fury, head of the super spy agency called S.H.I.E.L.D. Fury is there to talk about something called the Avengers Initiative, but more on that later. Fast forward 6 months. The US government wants Tony's armor for its own use, and Stark's rival Justin Hammer is trying to replicate the tech as well, despite being pretty bad at things. But Tony has bigger problems. He's learned that the palladium in his arc reactor is slowly poisoning him. With seemingly no cure in sight, he makes Pepper the new CEO of Stark Industries and gets a new assistant who's crazy hot and good at boxing.
Oh my God!
In Monaco, Tony is attacked by the Russian scientist Ivan Vanko, who has his own reactor which he uses to power his electric whips. Turns out Vanko's dad used to work for Tony's dad, and they were the original designers of the arc reactor before Vanko Sr. was disgraced and deported. Vanko is defeated by Stark, but Hammer recruits him to build an army of armored suits. With his palladium poisoning worsening, Tony goes on a bender at his birthday party. Rhodey, knowing full well that friends don't let friends drink and drive, climbs into a suit of Tony's armor to shut his buddy down. After a crazy fight, he takes the armor back to the US military, where it is pimped out by Justin Hammer. Meanwhile, a down-and-out Stark finds out that his new assistant is actually Black Widow, a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent sent to keep tabs on him. He's confronted by Nick Fury, who gives him some of his father's old belongings, who, as it turns out, helped found S.H.I.E.L.D. way back when. Hidden among these items is the key to creating a new element, one which will allow Tony to solve the imperfections of the arc reactor and cure his poisoning. Meanwhile, Hammer is unveiling his new line of armored drones at the Stark Expo. However, Vanko takes control of the drones and Rhodey's War Machine armor, and a huge battle breaks out. Luckily, Black Widow does her Black Widow thing and restores Rhodey's suit controls. Tony and Rhodey kick everyone's ass, Vanko blows up, Hammer is arrested, Tony saves Pepper at the last second, she quits as CEO, and they kiss. Finally. Everything is pretty good for our heroes, until Loki comes a-knockin'. The Asgardian god arrives on Earth and steals the all-powerful device known as the Tesseract from S.H.I.E.L.D. Tony and Pepper, now a couple, have a new headquarters in New York named Stark Tower. S.H.I.E.L.D. shows up and asks Tony to help them find the Tesseract. Soon, Stark shows up in Germany to battle Loki alongside the legendary Captain America, and then against the legendary Captain America, and the mighty Thor. Back on the S.H.I.E.L.D. helicarrier, Stark works with his new bestie, Dr. Bruce Banner, aka the Hulk, to locate the Tesseract. The heroes discover that S.H.I.E.L.D. was creating weapons with the Tesseract before it was stolen. All hell breaks loose on the helicarrier, friends are lost, and everyone decides to band together to stop the new threat. Avengers assemble. Back in New York, Loki opens an interdimensional portal in the sky above Stark Tower, allowing his alien allies, the Chitauri, to attack Earth. The Avengers fend them off, but in the end, only Iron Man can save the city from a nuclear strike meant to contain the alien threat. Tony flies the missile through the portal and destroys the Chitauri mothership. Hurtling back towards Earth, he's caught by his new pal, the Incredible Hulk. And then everyone eats shawarma. With the Avengers parting ways, for now, Tony is left to face the aftermath of the New York attack and what it means for the future of Iron Man. As one of the world's greatest superheroes, hopefully his genius is enough to fight a new threat, one that wants nothing more than to destroy everything he holds dear.
Tony Stark makes you feel he's a cool exec with a heart of steel.
As Iron Man, all jets ablaze, he's fighting and smite with repulsor rays.